So we move on to the next topic, that is prejudice. Now prejudice is a very important term and a topic that is to be studied in the field of social psychology. It is very rich in affective component, and the affect is not positive, it is negative affect. Any attitude which has more of positive affect is a value. Any attitude which has more of negative affect is mostly prejudice. Alright? But there is a difference between attitude and prejudice. Attitude is usually directed towards a person. Here, prejudice is directed towards a specific group or community. So it is directed towards specific group or community, and you cannot able to give a proper rationale that why do you have or why is it likely that you have certain amount of disgust or hostile attitude towards that particular group. So it is mostly filled with negative affect, directed towards a specific group or community, and it's irrational. Alright? If we have to understand prejudice, we need to understand certain concept that is called social groups. And we all know that social psychology deals with social groups. That means a behavior modifies, a behavior is likely to get changed and altered and revamped, and every possible change in a behavior pattern, development of behavior pattern, it is obviously it is guided by a group in which that person is present. It can be a primary group, it can be more than one secondary group, it can be a tertiary group as well. So when there is a social group, there is an identification of I with the group. That means I, which was remaining isolated, when it becomes identified with this group, that becomes a collective self, which is called social self-esteem. Social self-esteem. This is only individual self-esteem. This is only my self-esteem. But when this I identifies with the characteristics of the group, when it identifies with the characteristics of the group, if those characteristics are positive characteristics, then there is likelihood that all positive qualities of this particular group is likely to get incorporated within this I, and our own self-esteem is likely to get bolstered, heightened, elevated. So it is basically, if I belong to a group where this is group 1, where I identifies, there is another group 2 and group 3 and group 4. If I feel that they possess certain qualities which to some extent can threaten my own self-esteem, it can pose certain amount of insecurity upon my own self-esteem, because I need to assure more about the positive qualities of my group. Because if I am doubtful about the positive qualities of my group, I won't be able to derive my self-esteem. So rather to elevate my self-esteem, if I feel that other 3 groups are posing some kind of threat or insecurity or some kind of barricade, it is necessary to devalue them, to denigrate them, to debase them. So it is one of the way by which our self-esteem is restored. It is one of the coping style which most of the individual applies and implies in their day-to-day life without realizing that there is a certain spontaneous tendency to denigrate, debase and devalue the qualities of other people. Why is it so? So that I can undo the doubt that I have about myself, which makes me reassure about my own positive qualities. And if I have to remain secure, I will have to derive all necessary positive evaluations and qualities from my own group, that is G1. Alright? So whenever there are presence of other groups which can pose any kind of threat or impinge any kind of hindrance to my self-esteem, to my self-regards, to my other accomplishments, spontaneously the coping style is to denigrate and debase and somehow to subvert them, to keep my self-esteem protected and fenced. Alright, so this is one of the function of prejudice. That is, this negative attitude or this hostility or this disgust is directed towards another group. It can be a religious group or an ethnic group, or it can be any kind of other group. It can be a group based on certain community, based on certain caste, based on certain political identification as well. So it becomes very, very prominent through this process of prejudice. If we understand the social dynamics of prejudice, we can able to understand that in order to protect my own self-esteem and in order to revive the social self-esteem of my own group, one of the major coping style is to denigrate the other group. Alright? So we'll move on to the first very important theory or the cause of prejudice. That is direct intergroup conflict. Direct intergroup conflict. Direct intergroup conflict says that when two groups which were initially competing among themselves over a valued resource or commodity that is scanty, that is limited or scanty, competition gets elevated to a level of hostility, and hostility escalates to prejudice. This is very important to understand that when two or more groups are competing among each other over a valued commodity, say for example any resource or a valued commodity is always very limited. If the resource is very limited, the demand is likely to be very high. Alright, if the utility value of that commodity is very high. If the groups, if one or more groups are competing among each other over a valued commodity, say for example in a job there are 7 vacancies, whereas the number of applicants are more than 30. Now there are different, in the interview platform, the interviewees notice that there are few individuals who are representing some other community or some other group. If I am Bengali, they are not either Bengalis or something like that. So since they fall into some other group or community, my self-esteem is questioned. My group's self-esteem is questioned. So naturally, the obvious coping style is to show hostility and denigration. Are they really suitable for this particular job? This is ridiculous. Now, this is a kind of debasement which I direct towards that particular group. It is because of this direct intergroup conflict where when two groups are just competing with each other over a valued resource or commodity, make sure that the resource is very limited whereas the demand is very high. 7 posts, 30 applicants. That means the resource is very valued and it's scanty. And there are 30 people where maybe 4 people are from different community, or maybe 4 other people from different religion, and 3 maybe from different location. These are the different grounds which can make me feel perturbed, and this membership of that person, just because of the fact that they represent that specific community, that makes me feel extremely hostile, and I direct that hostility. Prejudice is reflected through behavior, and that is called discrimination. One difference between prejudice and discrimination is prejudice is confined within our psychic reality, whereas discrimination is when we implement that, when we imply that in our behavior pattern. Alright? So these two groups, so there are 2 to 3 groups who are sitting in the interview platform who are just competing among each other. In the first round they appeared together, in the second round also they appeared together. Now after a certain period of time, initially it was just a mere competition. This mere competition, it gets elevated to a level of hostility or disgust, and maybe after a certain period of time there is a possibility that it would escalate to a level of full-scale prejudice. Alright, this is also known as realistic conflict theory. Realistic conflict theory. So this particular theory is very important for us to understand that there can be a full-scale prejudice over certain valued resources or commodities having very high utility value, and if there are several groups who are claiming to grab the utility value of that scanty resource. Alright, so this is the first theory or the first cause of prejudice. Alright, in the next video we will start with the second, third and fourth causes of prejudice. কত মিনিট হয়েছিল?
41
হ্যাঁ
14 মিনিট প্রায়।
Okay. So in the next video I will come with the new topic under prejudice, that is social categorization, stereotyping, frustration aggression and the different types of stereotype. Alright? Stop.